Yeah. It's your boy Nick Frazier back around the water cooler. It's Monday. Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking defensive backs today. Man, let's just get into it, man. Water Cooler Talk Podcast. Let's go.
Boys and girls of all ages, you're tuned into the Water Cooler Talk Podcast, the biggest podcast in the world. Yeah.
You are now tuned in to Water Cooler Talks, covering everything you love about college football, especially everything going down in the SEC Conference. So, if you love college football, you need to lock in. And now, your hosts, Nick Frazier and Marcus Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, boy. It's your boy, Nick Frazier, one half of the Water Cooler Talk Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, man, we appreciate y'all so much for rocking with us here around the water cooler. As always, my name is Nick Frazier. I said that already. But before we get into it, ladies and gentlemen, as always, make sure you follow us on Facebook at the Water Cooler Talk Podcast. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at the Water Cooler Talk, man. Follow us on Twitter. If you don't have a Twitter, download it. Go make an account. Follow us on Twitter at CoolestPod23. Ladies and gentlemen, and of course, subscribe, like, share, and hit the notification bell button here on YouTube, so you know when we post more videos and when we go live here on YouTube. Man, we are on our way. We are trying to climb. It's a slow, steady climb, but we're going to get to 700 subscribers soon, man. And we appreciate y'all so much for rocking with us here around the water cooler. As always, man, let's get to the comment section as always and see what's going on with the fam around the water cooler, man. How y'all feeling? Yeah. JT said, man, give me wide receiver and DB. That's Travis Hunter. That's JT's quote of the day, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to that, man. Travis Hunter getting ready to go into the NFL draft this week, Thursday night. We're going to be watching that. So let's make it happen, man. Arbor Dad said, man, War Eagle, man. What's up, Arbor Dad? Hope all is going well with you, my guy, man. Arbor Dad give us his analysis. He said, well, safeties, I feel they are, but the verdict is still out past Lee and Crawford. If Strada plays he did at Miami of Ohio and the freshman play, there are potential that the QBs are the strongest. I mean, the CBs are the strongest. I'm with you, man. We're going to get into it tonight, man. I'm gonna give you my little thought, my little soliloquy, my little monologue about this DB room going on, man. That's a big if on the corners, though. I feel you. JT with the War Eagle. What's up, Tim? Tim the tool, man. What up, Tim the tool, man? Taylor, what's up, my man? What's up, man? How you feeling, man? War Eagle to my guy, Tim. The legend of Sweet Sugar Bell Williams is in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. The one, the only, the Huggy Beard is rocking with us tonight, man. I feel ya. What's up, my guy? He says, bro, I wish I could record that rhyme on a mic instead of a phone. Yeah. So that's the thing, man. Like when you was there, when you sent it to me, Huggy, like I could hear it, but I could barely hear it. So that's why I was saying, I wish I could have get you. I wish I could have got you to do it on a microphone. It would have been better. It would have been better. And let's make that happen, man. Let's see if we can make that happen. Tim said, spit a bar for us, Nick. All right, let me see. All right. Yeah. You thought I was about to spit a bar. I looked like I was about to spit one, though. You know, yeah, that's all I had to do was just that's it, man. You know what it is. Bob the baby face phrase. Shout out to y'all, man. Y'all talking about the cut. It's actually starting to grow back a little bit, but you know, like I said, I'm gonna try to keep it as clean cut as I possibly can, just so I can keep my face kind of intact and kind of keep it exfoliated and clean. The king of the comments, Travell, is in here, man. What's up, Travell? How you feeling, my guy? Auburn Dad speaking to everybody. What it is, the Huggy Beard speaking to everybody. Tim speaking to everybody. What's going on? Travell said Nick looks like he drinks Jack Daniels, not Jack. Man, chill out, bro. Don't do that, bro. Don't do that, my guy. Nico got a little brother that also hit the portal, man. What? So his brother that was at Arkansas hit the portal? I didn't see that. I need to go investigate that. That is interesting, man. Brad Browning, what up, my guy? Brad, what's up, man? What's going on with you, man? Yo, it's your man Fifth, man. Fifth in the building right now, man. You know what I'm saying? He's saying what's up to Nick, Huggy, and to him too, man. Auburn dad, JT. What's up, man? I just got done shooting many men, and we about to bring power back for 8th season. You feel me? That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. My guy Fifth, man. What up, Curtis? How you doing, my guy? Everybody saying what's up. Auburn dad is in this thing. Auburn dad is in this thing. What's up, man? I'm happy, man. This was Easter weekend. I'm excited to see everybody that's in the chat right now, man. Everybody that's coming in. I'm excited to see y'all, man. Excited to see all y'all doing good. My guy Jeff Pelt, what's up, man? How you feeling, man? He said, how we feeling about Tennessee taking Joey Aguilar for quarterback? I'm going to get into that a little bit tonight. So I'm going to hold on to that. I'm going to start that one because I want to get into that a little bit tonight, man. That's what I'm talking about. You feel me? That's what I'm saying, man. My boy Gregory Lawrence, what's up, man? What up, Wardam? What up, Auburn fan? What up, Greg? How you feeling, my guy? Hope all is well with you, man. That's what I'm talking about. The Huggy Beard is in here, man. Kurt Fitty said, Nick, featuring your boy Fitty. What's up? What's up, man, on the collab, man? You let me know, man. I drop some. It may not be good, but I'll drop some bars for you, my guy. Let me know when you want to do it, man. I'll send it over to you. My guy Blake's World. What up, Blake's World? My boy look 18 without the beard. Shout out to my boy Blake's World, man. What's up, my guy? Hope all is good with you, man. What's up? That's my boy Blake in this thing. What up, man? Jeff Pelt, War Eagle to everybody, man. What's up, man? Water Cooler fam. That's the man right there. The man with the plan. James Barnett. What it is, my guy. What it is, what it ain't, what it could be. In the words of Cam Newton, man. How you feeling, James? Hope all is going well with you, man. Yeah, James in here. Hey, Curtis, the king of the comments. Travell want to know if you from the 4-6, man. What's up? What's up, man? What's up? Auburn dad in this thing, man. You feel me? The Huggy, that's your beat. Is that Jim Jones diplomats in the prime the field? I mean, I'm telling y'all, man. I'm telling y'all, Huggy got them bars though. I'm just telling you, Huggy sent me. He sent me his rap over our entrance, over the 2-minute entrance that we got. Lyrics were dope. You just couldn't hear him for real. So I'm telling you, if we can get him to record this on a mic, it'd be dope, man. Shout out to the Huggy Beard, man. Kurt, what up, Kurt? Fitty sending this thing, and my boy C Hall, what it is, C Hall. What up, C Hall? How you feeling, man? War Eagle to you, my guy, man. Ladies and gentlemen, man, we appreciate y'all so much for rocking with us around the water cooler, man. Let's get into this conversation tonight, man. So as you can tell from Blake said, my wife cooking spaghetti tonight. Finna enjoy this show, man. I appreciate it, man. We're gonna give you some entertainment for about the next 35 to 40 minutes. And we're gonna, and I want y'all to get in on this topic. Because I have some thoughts. And we're gonna get into it right now, man. So as you can tell, you saw the thumbnail, you saw the title. Is the DB room still the strongest position for Auburn? Now I've been on record as saying, man, I feel as if this Auburn defense with Coach DJ Durkin at the head running the show will be a top 15 defense in the nation. You saw what Coach DJ Durkin did last year with a lot of young guys in the group. You saw the production they had. There were some areas to where the defense had some lack at sometimes, like third down. And shout out to Auburn Tez, man. Shout out to if y'all don't know, make sure y'all go subscribe to Auburn Tez at It's SE Season on YouTube, at It's SE Season on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to him over there, man. Content coming soon. But he said, what fan base is completely, and I'm paraphrasing, what fan base is completely okay with their defense on third down? Hey, that's a good point. So you look at what Coach Durkin did with this defense last year with a bunch of young guys on the defensive side of the ball. And if we would have got, some offensive production in certain moments, could Auburn have pulled off 2 to 3 more games? And could Auburn have been an 8-win team last year? It's debatable, but that's not for tonight's show. Tonight's show, we're going to look at a certain position group on this defensive side of the ball. We're going to talk about the defensive backfield. Now, the way we can separate this into safeties, into cornerbacks, but tonight I'm going to take a look at it as a whole, and parts of my monologue and parts of my soliloquy and parts of my diatribe, if you want to call it that, is going to be specific focus to cornerbacks and to safeties. So we're going to get into that. So let's make it happen, man. So the portal opened last week, and Terrence Love, one of the guys that was on this Auburn roster during the spring, seemed as if he was getting some run. Not with the ones per se, but he was more of a consistent 2 guy. If you listen to a lot of guys that were closer to the program, that were, have sources inside the program, he was running more with the 2s in the defensive secondary with the safeties. He's entered the portal. CJ Johnson was a guy that I was looking at, that I said that he was literally number 1 on my list of guys that were going to enter the portal after the spring window. He was literally number 1 on my list. And because he entered the portal in the winter portal, and then came out, but then came back for the spring, maybe just to see what he can do, just to see if he had a chance, see if there was something that happened. But the writing looked like he was on the wall, so he re-entered the portal. So now he's back in the portal. J.C. Hart, by some accounts, who had an injury in spring. He was considered to be one of the 2 fastest men on the team. Then apparently Eric Singleton came in, and now he's the fastest man on the team. But J.C. Hart's cornerback, he's now in the portal, and reported that Tyler Scott is now thinking about, or I don't know if he's officially entered the portal yet, but there are rumblings that Tyler Scott will be in the portal. To go along with, Braden Jordan on the offensive line, Dylan Gentry, wide receiver, Ian Vachon, who was our kicker. He came in out of class last year and he kicked for us. He has now entered the portal as well. But you look at this defensive back room, and I've been on record stating that I felt as if the defensive back room was the strongest position for Auburn football going into this season. I felt and the reason why I felt that way is because, look, yes, we had a lot of freshmen. It wasn't because of the freshmen that we had coming in to play, but it was because of who we have projected at starter for the cornerbacks per se. And in this moment, I'm talking about the cornerbacks. At the cornerback position, who we had projected as the starters, and then the depth behind them that was just as quality as the first team guys. So you're looking at potentially the first team guys who can start, but then you're looking at the second team guys who can actually be number 1s on any other team in the conference as well. But then you look at that depth behind them, and you say those are good quality depth rotational pieces that if something were to happen to the first 2 guys, or maybe a third guy, that we still have some quality depth behind them that is not young pieces. They're not pieces to where they're just strictly freshmen, but they're guys that have been in the program, that have been around the program, that know what Auburn is trying to do to change the trajectory of the program, to change the culture of the program, to be more of a player-led program. There are guys there that know that what has been going on the past 2 years at Auburn cannot happen this year, and things have to change. But then you look up and you see Terrence Love leave, 4-star guy. CJ Johnson leave. However you feel about that, I feel like he could have contributed. J.C. Hart, a lot of people, local guy, local kid, that was committed to Auburn. And you saw the athleticism. You saw what he could have done when given the opportunity, potentially. And you look at this and you say, man, that could have been a nice quality piece for us in the future with when, some of the top guys leave, if he gets time to develop. Then you look at Tyler Scott, who reportedly is entering the portal, who was, let's by all occasions, Tyler Scott last offseason was the guy that was the starting cornerback for Auburn before he got hurt and missed the 2024 season, a la the rise of Jay Crawford. So, and we all know what happened there. Jay Crawford came in, balled out as a freshman All-American, seems to be on a trajectory to be the next great defensive back from Auburn to be drafted. If everything goes right, he could be a first-round draft pick. He could be that in the next couple of years. He came in and took that man's spot. Even though Scott got hurt, he came in and took that man's spot. But then when I look at the rest of the backfield, and I say, man, wow. So you have those four guys go. Keontae Scott is not there anymore. He had another year of eligibility. He could have came back and gave you some depth there. Antonio Kite left in the middle of the season, or was kicked off the team in the middle of the season, however you want to word that. And then you look at the guys that are coming in. You look at Eric Winters, who's a freshman. Devin Williams, who had an ACL injury. He's a freshman. Blake Woodby, he's a freshman. You look at Donovan Starr. He's a freshman. You look at Amon Longangas. He's a redshirt freshman. Anquan Fagans is a freshman. I mean, it's a lot of youth in this backfield that you look at and just be like, man, there is not a lot of quality. I'm not gonna say quality, but a lot of mature guys that have played a lot of snaps of college football to back up the guys that are going to start. Now, let's talk about the guys that's going to start at the boundary position at the cornerback positions. Let's talk about those guys that's going to start. We're talking about Jay Crawford and we're talking about Can Lee. Now, there is nothing there that we can argue about there. I know everybody is okay with that part, with those guys starting. There is no drop off there. The problem is, what makes great teams great is having quality guys behind them. That's what makes you great. That's what makes teams look at you differently. That's what made Alabama. That's what made Georgia. That's why people were looking at Ohio State. That's why people could always continue to look at Texas and things and stuff like that, because of the depth behind the guys that are the guys. So you have the number one guy, but then behind the number one guy, you have the guy that can be a number one guy somewhere else. So you look at what potentially Tyler Scott could have been as one of those guys that could have been in a rotation at cornerback. You look at that. Now, behind those guys, you have one guy who I've been very high on, and I feel as if it doesn't seem as if he's gonna hit the portal. It doesn't seem as if, but you never know in this era of college football. You never know. Rayon Strata. I've been very high on him. I've even put on this channel, I've put on here my thought of how the defense should look. Jay Crawford at one corner, Rayon Strata at another corner, and maybe putting Can Lee at the slot at the nickel position and playing the nickel slot. And just getting him on the field because a bigger guy that can cover maybe the number 2 receiver on a team. You have Jay Crawford covering the X receiver on a team, and then you have Can Lee covering the F receiver, the slot guy on the team. So you have him doing that, and I'm telling you, that is an all-star team. But when you get past those 3 guys, without Tyler Scott, without J.C. Hart, Devin Williams is injured. Without having those guys there, the next guy that we've been hearing about a lot is a freshman in Blake Woodby. Now, let me get it twisted. This is nothing against Blake Woodby's ability or against Blake Woodby's talent. Nothing at all. But the fact is, he has not played a lot of college football. And the same can be said for Jay Crawford last year. He didn't play a lot of college football last year. And he came in and dominated. He came in and showed what he could do. So maybe that argument is a moot point. A moot point. Am I saying that right? Moot point. But the thing is, when you don't I'm not gonna sit here and say a lot of people were ecstatic. They were like overly confident in what Jay Crawford could do until he got on the field and showed it last year, when he was actually put in a position where he had to get on the field and ball out and show it as what he could do. And we all saw what he did. He ended up being a freshman All-American. Same with Caleb Harris, who's playing more in the safety in the safety part of the defense. But now you look at the depth behind them, and it's nothing against the talent or their ability. It's just the fact of when they get on the field, when those lights get bright, when you get inside Jordan-Hare Stadium, when you have to play in front of that, 88,000, 89,000, 90,000 people, when it matters, when teams have to, when you have a guy that's sitting across you that is literally potentially a top 20 or a top 25 or first round draft pick, or he was just as good as you. He was recruited out of high school just as good as you at his position. His ability to play is just as well. He step for step, he's just as fast as you. He's maybe a little bit stronger. Y'all might be the same strength. He's thinking the game through. Now, when you get into that situation, how do you perform? What do you see? What happens? You feel what I'm saying? So it's more of not like the depth that Auburn has, because Auburn still has depth in this wide receiver, in this defensive back room. There's still depth there. Problem is, we don't know exactly what we have until it steps on the field in the moments when it matters. You can talk about, I'm gonna tell you one thing that my coach always used to tell us. He said, anybody could be a t-shirt All-American. There are a lot of t-shirt All-Americans walking around this earth. A lot of great guys that were great when their t-shirts on. And you have a lot of guys that were great practice players. You have a lot of guys that were really good practice players. If you listen to anything Coach Freeze says, Peyton Thorne was that. Peyton Thorne was a great practice player. If you listen to anything Coach Freeze say. But here's the thing. What happens when you have to do it when it matters? That's the question. That is the question that we all want to know. And we just don't know as of right now what those guys can do. We've heard a lot about what they can do in practice. Blake Woodby, a lot of buzz about him. Of course, Jay Crawford and Can Lee, we all know what they gonna do. We all know what they gonna do. Rayon Stratter, I saw some of his tape at Miami of Ohio, and I was sold when I saw his tape. There. When you look at Eric Winters on the safety part, when you look at Anquan Fagans, who I've said that I feel like Anquan Fagans particularly can have a KJ Bolden-esque effect on Auburn this year. The same way KJ Bolden had the effect on Georgia this past year, on his freshman year, I feel like Anquan Fagans can have that same effect as well. So when you sit here and look at that, and you sit here and you see like all of the talent there, yes, guys are hitting the portal because you see the talent that's being brought in. But the thing about it is, we still need that veteran leadership on the back end. We still need that veteran leadership there to help guide these guys as well. Because a lot of these, and let's not get it twisted. A lot of these guys can come in and they can play right now easily. They can come in and play and make an impact right now, and the lights really don't matter to them because they play in high school programs that have been in big time games and things and stuff like that. But I tell you this. I still say that they are the strongest. I'm still saying that the defensive back room is the strongest on this team. I'm still saying it because you got those two guys, Jay Crawford, Can Lee. Jay Crawford, Can Lee. Jay Crawford, Can Lee. You still got those two guys there. And if everything we hearing about Blake Woodby comes to fruition, you got four guys. Add Rayon Stratter, add Blake Woodby. So you have the depth there. I did a little research. I did a little research, and I wanted to know how, on average, last year, how many cornerbacks played in rotation. How many on average in college football? I didn't do SEC. I just did college football. So in college football last year, on average, how many cornerbacks rotated in to the game last year for relief purposes and things like that? And the number that came out was somewhere between 3 to 5 is what the number was. And that makes sense because a lot of teams play nickel. So that means you're going to have five. You're going to have 5 defensive backs on the field. So sometimes that nickel position could either be a safety that comes down and play the slide, or it could be a cornerback that's playing the slide. So if we had to go right now, And here is why I say, if you're looking at that number between 3 to 5, and why I feel as if Auburn still has that ability to come in and still Auburn's defensive back room still has the ability to be the strongest position on the field. Here's the reason why. Jay Crawford, Ken Lee. We're gonna go Rayon Strata. Hopefully, Tyler Scott reconsiders and comes back. Because if Tyler Scott reconsiders and comes back, that is a guy that you can say, look, the defensive staff felt that he was good enough to be a starter on this team last year, but because he was injured and he had to sit out the whole 24 season with an injury, he couldn't play. So if you bring him back in this thing, that's another quality piece. So that's three. That's Jay Crawford, Ken Lee, Tyler Scott, Rayon Strata, and then if Blake Woodby comes along, that's 5. Those are your 5 cornerbacks right there that we can go with. And the average that I found was what? 3 to 5. So if you can get those 5 guys in rotation and get them the reps on the field, especially Blake Woodby, because there's a lot of buzz about Blake Woodby and how good he could potentially be at Auburn. Like he could potentially be an All-American type candidate at Auburn. That's everything that I've heard and seen. So if that's the case, guess what? If you're getting that guy prepared for the next couple of years, getting him into rotation, getting him into some of that fire, getting him into some of that SEC athleticism play, where you're not just the best guy on your team, but now the best guy is another guy on your team just as good as you at the other position. You get him in there with those other 4 guys. That's if Tyler Scott comes back. I know the reports are saying that he's potentially entering the portal. But if you get him back and you can add Woodby, him, Strata behind Crawford and Ken Lee, I think Auburn will be fine. I think it'll be fine. I think Auburn would be perfectly okay. And we won't be having this question moving forward about, is the DB room still the strongest? Because you look at the safeties, and I don't think you look at the safeties. We all say Champ Anthony. Champ Anthony, if he comes back healthy, we all know what he can do. You look at Caleb Harris. Caleb Harris comes in, we all know what he can do. We saw what he did. He was another freshman All-American, if I'm not mistaken. You look at, excuse me. You look at what they said, Jarquez Robinson, who's a senior, who's been on the team for a while. He has an opportunity to come in. I'm telling you, man, there is a possibility. You look at Sylvester Smith. I'm not sure if Sylvester Smith hit enter the portal. I don't think he has. But if you have him come back in at safety, now that's another piece in the safety room. So the safety room looks good. Not to mention, I didn't even mention Anquan Fagans. They call him New Boy. Tay Seymour. You have those guys. That seems to be very more intact. But when you look at the cornerback room, and especially with the exodus of guys that we all know that they're not starters. We know that we know that they're not starters. We know Crawford and Lee are the starters. But when you look behind them and you look at the depth behind them, which would give them depth and which would give them quality depth, that's where we look at it and be like, man, like if something were to happen to the number 1 and number 2 guys, who's behind them that can step up? So now that we see that, and we see if this is a big if you can get Scott back out of the portal, you'll have your three rotational pieces that can help out. Based on the average of what based on what a quick Google search said, the number of cornerbacks that were rotated into a game, 3 to 5. So it'll be interesting to see, man. We appreciate y'all so much for rocking with us, man. We're gonna take a break right here. We're gonna hit in the halftime, man. We're gonna let our guy DJ from DJ from Hollywood Media, man. We're gonna take a look at him right after we hit this halftime break.
You don't out your seats. It's halftime.
Do you want to feel like a star? Then go to Hollywood Media and you'll be shining. From sports interviews, athletic highlight tapes, athletic photography, Hollywood Media will make you the star of all stars. Feel like a star on the most important days of your life. From college graduation to saying I do to your forever person. Let Hollywood Media make your event star-studded. Subscribe and follow on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube at Hollywood_media. And follow on Facebook at Hollywood Media with 2 A's. Hollywood. Shout out to our guy DJ, man. They want support of the Water Cooler Talk podcast as always, man. We appreciate him so much for rocking with us, man. Make sure that you rock with the people that rock with the Water Cooler Talk podcast as always, man. Make sure that you follow him on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Hollywood_media. That's Hollywood EY. And then follow him on Facebook at Hollywood Media with 2 A's. That's Holly with an EY and then media with 2 A's, man. So shout out to our guy, DJ. They want support of the Water Cooler Talk podcast. Always rocking with us, man. We appreciate you, my boy, for continuing to rock with us, man. Let's go ahead and let's get back into the show, man. Let's take a look at some of these comments, man. We had some comments come in while I was talking. And I want to see what y'all got going on here. What y'all got going on here, man? Kurt said, man, Travell, no, sir. He from Decatur. Oh, you from the north part. You from the north part right up there. Okay, then. Shout out to Kurt. Fitty. What up, man? What's going on? C Hall in this thing. 5 Adams said players enter the portal because they will not start. That's very true. That's very true, 5. You got a lot of guys that's entering the portal because they won't start. But the thing is, you still need some quality guys behind them because you never know what could happen. So I understand in this era of college football, guys are trying to get on the field because guess what? They're trying to get to the next level and they need to get tape. So I completely understand. So you got to do what's best for you at the end of the day. Huggy said, nah, I'm just rhymed over. I just rhymed over it. Got a Mac version. Not even Nick has heard it. I ended up putting 2 or 3 lines of it in the version I sent Nick. Oh, okay. So you didn't send me the whole thing. Okay. I got you, Huggy. I got you. That's what's up. C-Hog comes in and said, man, if Coach Freeze's freshmen show out every year, our sophomore and junior. Yeah, that's right. I mean, that's the thing, man. Like, but it's the thing. You want to get to the era of where we don't have to rely on freshmen every single year. See, I feel you on that. So you want to get to the point to where your freshman and the year has to start now. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to have to be playing freshmen every year. You want to have some continuity because every year, yeah, the transfer portal is real, NIL is real. But if you have those core group of guys that you know that you can count on that's going to be back, it'll be so much easier for installs because then they can start teaching the new guys that come in. They can start teaching them how it is. You're not having to reintroduce new things to freshmen every year. Sometimes the players coach each other. Like, I'm telling you, like, it'll be a lot easier moving forward. Man, the true freshmen all showed up. This is going to be Darling Peeps to throw to, man. Yeah, it's gonna be wild. It's gonna be the amount of talent that Auburn has in that defensive room is ridiculous, bro. It's crazy. Kurt Jackson said they are supposed to be hosting another cornerback visit because we only have 6 DBs and 2 of them are true freshmen. It's going to be a hard sell with all this young talent. Very true. And that cornerback that they're hosting, his name is Rayshawn Pleasant from Tulane, 6 foot, 185 pound cornerback. I think his stats, I think he had like 27 total tackles last year. I think he had 3 pass breakups. I think he had 1 interception for a touchdown last year. I think stuff like that. So bringing him in, even if you lose Scott, like I said, when I did a quick Google search about the average of cornerbacks that they rotate in, that most college teams rotate in, it's 3 to 5. Even if you don't bring Scott back, if you can get him in, you get Crawford and Lee as your starters. You can bring in Pleasant and Strata as your backup guys for your depth pieces because they're gonna be rotating anyway because he's already started at another program at another program. Strata started at another program, so you know that they're college football players. And then you bring Woodby in as that 5th guy because you know he's gonna be the future of that DB room. That's a nice little mix right there. You know what I'm saying? That's a nice little mix of guys right there that you can work with, but you got to get Pleasant in first. So it's really between Pleasant and Scott. If you can get Scott to come back, or if you can get Rayshawn Pleasant to commit, I think if that happens, you know, just based on height and weight with Pleasant, maybe he can add about 5 more pounds to get to about that 190, 192 mark at the cornerback position. If you can get there, yeah, I think Auburn would be set to go there, man. So I think we have 4 good ones, but we need one more. I think we need one more that's not a freshman I think Woodby is the freshman that you're hearing a lot of buzz about, but you need that one more guy, another guy that's like a sophomore transfer that's going to be a junior next year or something like that, which what Pleasant is. If you can have that, I think that'll be good. Hansville. Oh, Huggyville, you in Hansville? What? Hansville? I hope I'm saying that right, but I know where it is though. Shout out to that, man. Shout out to that. Jeff Pelt, my guy Jeff, he said, I think DBs will be tried and true just because of who they are going up against day in and day out. That's a good one as well, too. When you're going up against Cam Coleman, Malcolm Simmons, and shout out to Malcolm Simmons. When you're going up against Eric Singleton, when you're going up against Sam Turner, you're going up against Horatio Fields, when you're going up against that type of talent, Perry Thompson, Bryce Kane, when you're going up against that type of talented wide receiver room, I agree with you, Jeff. I wholeheartedly agree with you. They will be trying to test it. But the thing about it is, like I stated before, even when you step onto the field when it matters, because this is still practice. Let's be real. It's still practice. You have the chance of messing up. If you mess up in a game in a critical moment, it can cost you a win or a loss. So hopefully the reps that they're getting, if they can simulate it to where if they can put pressure on these guys and simulate it to where it's game like, which is kind of hard to do in practice. If you're able to do that, it'll be interesting. It'll be something that we can do, man. Huggy, right up a road for you, man. About 50 miles. Look at y'all, man. Let's link up. Let's make it happen. Water Cooler Talk fam. Let's link up. Yeah, shout out to our guy DJ. Ladies and gentlemen, the man has entered the chat. King Richard, what up, man? War Eagle to you, my guy. What up, King? Hope all is well with you, man. Hope all is going good with you, King Richard in the chat. What's up, man? King Richard, I think the DBs will still be the backbone of this team this year. The DB room was really deep with a lot of great talent. Yeah, a lot of great talent, but not a lot of talent that's played a lot of snaps college football. Even some of the older guys that's in our DB room have not played a lot of snaps of college football, which is interesting to me. I mean, we literally have a lot of talent, but even some of the older guys that haven't played a lot of snaps of college football. So it'll be interesting to see as well, too. Auburn dad said, man, you want juniors to be good enough for the NFL, so sophomores will be the next man up. That part right there. In a perfect world, you would love to have a player 3 years in college, in the perfect world, at any position. At any position, you would love to have a player 3 years. Basically, freshman year, they're not starting, or if you get them to start, they go through their bumps, but you're getting them acclimated to the gameplay. You're getting them in the play. You're getting them you're rotating them in, letting them get some run. Sophomore year, guess what? Now they're competing for a starting spot, or they're competing for a 2-depth spot, where they know they're going to be in the rotation a lot. Their junior year, guess what? You the man. This is your time to show out, because if you show out at your junior year, guess what? Now you got a chance to go to the NFL. And if you don't do well, if you don't feel as if you did enough your junior year, then you come back for your senior year, and then you go ahead and ball out. Because let's think about it. Most of these guys finish their degrees in 3 years anyway, because they're on campus and during the summer. So they're taking summer classes. So now guess what? You finish your degree in 2.5, 3 years because you're taking classes already. So now you just playing football for the last year and a half if you're there as a junior. So it is what it is. So I shout out to Auburn dad for that, man. Yeah, Huggy, Auburn dad, King Richard, everybody talking. What's up, man? Huggy said, yeah, it's basically the same for the first 75%. That went one or two ways, and that's a lot that got left on the cutting room floor. I still have not wrote any of it down. I got you, man. That's what's up, man. Shout out to y'all, man. Let's go ahead. Let's get into it, man. Let's look at some of the guys that Auburn have coming in. We talked about Rayshawn Pleasant, Tulane transfer cornerback who potentially could end up in this class. I was looking at numbers, and Auburn will be bringing in, if they right now as it sits, Auburn is bringing in 26 in the recruiting class, and then 18 transfer portal guys. Man, so you're looking at roughly, I think 21 plus 5, 26 plus 18, yeah, about 44. Looking at 44 guys is on the roster, and if you add Pleasant, that'll make the 45th guy. That's 44 new players on the roster. And if you add Pleasant, that'll be 45 guys. Man, that's a lot. And some of the guys that were brought in, man, Jay Hardy, defensive line, he was at Auburn, committed to Auburn, out of Chattanooga, Tennessee, and McCallie High School. Hit the portal, ended up going to Liberty with Coach Hugh Freeze, and he has now Trent hit the portal again, and now he's back at Auburn, man. So we got some D-line depth there. FAMU, that's what I'm talking about. Florida A&M University. I'm about to say Florida Atlantic, excuse me. Florida A&M University defensive lineman James Ash. He's committed to Auburn University, man. So we getting that depth there on the defensive line that we all need, because you just need those bodies. You need those big bodies down there. Just from the way that they hit and the way that they're almost like the running back position, because guess what? Running backs, like I remember Coach Gruden saying this one time. Coach Gruden said running backs are every play are in many collisions. Every play, just every play they're in many collisions. It's the same thing with the defensive linemen, man. So you got those big guys that move that way. So you need that depth there just to keep fresh bodies in and stuff like that. So you got two of the good ones right there. Caleb Wheatley, Maryland linebacker. He has committed to Auburn. I saw that come through Friday night. It was actually official Saturday afternoon, Sunday morning, I believe, is when it was official, is when it was announced. I saw that Friday night that he was on his way to Auburn. So that was interesting there, man. And Malachi Harris out of Austin P, interior offensive lineman. Just looked like we just replacing Braden Jordan's spot with him, Malachi Harris, interior offensive lineman who can play guard or center. So we'll look at that and see as well. And also, by the way, congratulations to Braden Jordan. Braden Jordan is going to Purdue University. Man, shout out to him, man. Wish him all the best as well there in his future endeavors, man. King Richard comes in and says, man, not a lot of college experience, but like you guys said, these DBs are being worked on by the best receiving room in the country. And that's the X factor right there. That's the thing that I did not say, and I did not give that credit enough in my statements there. That is very true. And shout out to Jeff Pelt. Jeff Pelt said the same thing, that they're gonna be tried and tested because of who they're going up against in practice. That is very true. I agree with both of y'all statements there. But still, though, I'm telling you this, man. It's a difference. It's a difference when them lights come on and you playing against 90,000 people. I tell you that. But that's when you have to rely on what you were taught, what you did during the summer, what you did during the spring as well. So it'll be fine. I think, like I said, I think we'll be fine, especially if we can get that fifth starting quality DB to come in. Whether that's getting Scott back out, whether that's getting Tyler Scott back out of the portal, or whether that's getting Rayshawn Pleasant to commit to Auburn. And if you can get that fifth quality starting DB, and maybe even a sixth guy, just to be safe, just to be overly safe, maybe even getting a sixth guy, but 5 for sure. If you can get that, I think we'll be fine. I think we'll be okay. The Huggy Beard, the Legend of Sweet Sugar Bear Williams said, I'm pretty sure Barry Sanders won in no mini collisions every play. Yeah, because he was juking everybody. Yeah, he was avoiding them. But nah, majority of running backs are in mini collisions every play when they get hit. It's crazy. Man, let's take a look at this, man. Jeff Pelt brought up one interesting, something interesting that happened literally about an hour before we came on. He said, how y'all feeling about Tennessee taking Joey Aguilar at quarterback? So this goes back to the whole Nico situation. So Nico officially has committed to UCLA. If you don't know, Joey Aguilar committed to UCLA out of the winter portal from Appalachian State, he was at a Sun Belt school. I think he threw for about 3,000 yards last year. I think he had like 23 touchdowns, 13 or 14 interceptions last year. He had a down year from his previous year, because I think his previous year he was at like 3,700 yards. He had like 33 touchdowns, 10 interceptions at Appalachian State in the 2023 campaign. But in 2024, his numbers took a dip. His completion percentage took a really big dip as well. In 2023, he had like 66% completion. 2024, it was like 55%. And you saw the numbers go, like his numbers went down everywhere and the interceptions went up. So it's gonna be interesting to see, man. Shout out to Tim, man. Tim the Tool, man, said, man, he's like, if y'all go to my Twitter account, man, go to the Twitter account. He was like, man, what if they end up playing each other in a bowl game? I was like, man, that thing gonna do numbers. That thing is gonna do numbers. They're gonna have to put that one on like Peacock or something. They're gonna have to make people pay for that game. But Joey Aguilar to Tennessee, this is how I feel about this. I honestly think Nico's gonna have a great year at UCLA. I think he's gonna ball out. I think he is. For the simple fact, shout out to Tight Sports. I think Nico's gonna do well because of the fact that he's back in an environment that he's comfortable in. He's closer to family. He's not all the way across the country, even though they were there a lot. And I think they even moved to Tennessee with him, but still being out of his element. He's a South California kid. So I mean, being back in that weather, being back in his element, being back around his people. I'm telling you, man. Looking at that, I feel like he gonna ball out at UCLA. And even though his offensive coordinator is a new guy at UCLA, he was at, I want to say he was at Indiana last year. I think his offensive coordinator was at Indiana last year. He was either Indiana or Nebraska. I want to say it was Indiana. I honestly feel like Nico is gonna do very well this year. And for a lot of the people that had a lot to say when this whole situation happened, I kind of want him to do well this year as well. It was a lot of national pundits that had a lot to say about what Nico did and how it was bad. And I'm like, okay, whatever, man. I mean, whatever. However you feel about that, that's how you feel. But how do I feel about Joey Aguilar? Joey Aguilar is coming into the SEC into a team that was I feel like there's I don't pressure, the word pressure. Tennessee was a playoff team last year. Nico, however you want to make it sound, if Nico helped lead them to the playoffs, however, if it was more Dylan Sampson, it was more the defense. Nico was on that team. He was a quarterback and he threw touchdowns in that game. He actually had ran some men in that game as well too. Actually had some cracked helmets to prove it. So in that vein, I feel as if there is pressure on him to get back to that. Now, if he does do that, I think it's fine. I think he'll be fine. But if he doesn't do that and Nico does perform at UCLA, I think there'll be some questions. I think in November of this year, we will be having discussions about this Nico Joey Aguilar situation. Because literally, unofficially, this was the first trade in college football, if you think about it. This is literally the first trade in college football. Which team upgraded? Which team did better? And me personally, because of where he transferred from the pressure of playing in the SEC to basically going to a Big Ten program, well, I still think they Pac-12, but the Big Ten program, that if you look at the Big Ten, who are the top three teams in the Big Ten? Penn State, Michigan, Ohio State. Well, I'm add Oregon to that. Do you think Indiana is going to be back in that situation with Kurt Cignetti and Fernando Mendoza at quarterback? Do you think Nebraska with Matt Rule and Dylan Raiola is going to be back in that situation again? Are they going to be good enough? What do they have in the trenches? Do you think that Wisconsin is going to be a team that's going to be able to run the football? Are they going to be dominant this year? So you look after those four teams in the Big Ten of Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, and Oregon, and you can kind of almost say UCLA can slide in as that fifth team. And if I haven't, and this is the thing, I haven't looked at UCLA's schedule, so I'm just really kind of talking off the blind right here. But if you look at besides those four teams that everybody talks about on the national scale, after those four teams, every year there's a different team in the Big Ten that makes noise every single year. So could this be the year to where Nico is sitting there and saying, all right, man, I'm here, new OC. He came from the Big Ten. Now he came from another Big Ten program. Now he's here. So now let's see what happens. You know, I mean, I think UCLA has one receiver on their team that went over 800 yards last year. I think everybody else was like 200 or 300 yards or something like that. So you look at this and you say, transferring from Tennessee to UCLA, the pressure is off of him. Not a lot. There's not going to be a big spotlight on him. There's going to be a spotlight on Nico for sure because of what happened, him transferring out and now seeing what he does. But now you take the added pressure of him not being in the SEC on top of that, and then you add Joey Aguilar to that situation, and now where he has to perform on a team that was a playoff team last year. I'm gonna just put it like this. I think there's probably more pressure on Joey Aguilar, even though you sit here and you say, yeah, he's gonna be well loved and things and stuff like that. He's gonna be well loved and all type of stuff at Tennessee. I agree, But the thing is, man, I am telling you this. Tennessee was still a playoff team last year. Nico was still the quarterback. He was the starting quarterback of a playoff team last year, even though they got beat by that buzzsaw in that $21 million roster in Ohio State. He still was a 10-win quarterback in the SEC last year. He still was. Even with him throwing 2,600 yards passing, what was it? 19, 20 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. And then you look at the stats that Joey Aguilar had last year. He had more passing yards. Yes, he had more touchdowns, but he had double the interceptions that Nico had. So I'm telling you, man, I think more pressure is going to be on Aguilar. I do. I honestly believe it, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Both of them are basically going into a new situation where they didn't have a spring with the team that they was with. You know what I'm saying? With the new team that they're going to. So who picks up the playbook faster? Which coaching staffs puts that quarterback in the better situation to where they are able to succeed better? That's going to be one. That's going to be something to see. And this is going to tell you a lot about Josh Heupel. Yes, Josh Heupel did well with Hendon Hooker, but the year that he didn't have what was considered to be a quality starting quarterback, he only won like 7 or 8 games. So you look at this, and I'm sitting here saying, and I'm like, man, it's going to be interesting to see. But I tell you right now, when November comes, we'll be sitting here having this conversation, especially here on the Water Cooler Talk Sports, man. So that's why you need to subscribe, because we'll definitely be having this conversation about who probably won that trade. Because that's definitely what it was. It was a trade. That's all it is. It definitely was a trade. That really would hurt Tennessee losing their QB. Hey, Kenneth Sellers. Shout out to Kenneth Sellers, man. Welcome around the Water Cooler, my guy. Welcome around the Water Cooler, man. We appreciate you, man. That really will. I agree with you. I think it will hurt Tennessee more for the added pressure of them being in the SEC and the fact that they were a playoff team last year. So it'll be interesting to see, man. Auburn Dad says, so y'all see Tennessee first choice at quarterback was from TCU, who wasn't in the portal, so Tennessee be tampering and yeah, tampering happens all over college football, Auburn Dad. Tampering happens all over college football. And apparently the report was that they offered him $1 million more than what he was getting at TCU, and he still decided to stay. That man probably made the best decision for his career, because he was like, I've already went through spring with them. Guess what? I know this. I know the people around me. So this is the better option for me at this point in time. So it is what it is. Nico will have a great year. I think he needs a lot of help, but UCLA would be a 500 at best, or maybe they can, or maybe that's what I'm saying. Besides the 4 teams that we all talk about every year in the Big Ten, Penn State, Ohio State, Oregon, Michigan. Besides those 4 teams, what other team? I don't know. Like, does Fernando Mendoza get Indiana back in the playoff competition? I don't know. Does Dylan Raiola take the next step at Nebraska this year and becomes that guy and becomes really Patrick Mahomes Jr. this year? I don't know. He had flashes last year, but he kind of fizzled out during the end of the season with Dylan Raiola. He did. He kind of did. You know, does Wisconsin do that? Does Syracuse? Syracuse, excuse me. Does USC take a step this year? Because there's a lot of buzz about USC and what USC got going on. Do we see the rise of USC again with Lincoln Riley? I mean, it's a lot to think about in this situation. So literally, UCLA is in a really good prime position, because out of them 4, 2 of them probably gonna have a good year, or two of them potentially could be in a position where they don't perform as well as we expect them to out of the top 4. So UCLA could slide in. So it'll be interesting, especially that's next year. My bad. Let me go there. Speaking of Tennessee, this will show us how good that. Yes, thank you. Yes, this is exactly what it will show us. Exactly how good Josh Heupel is with quarterback play. Exactly what show us how good he is. Because all I'm telling you, Joey Aguilar did not have a great season last year in 2024 at Appalachian State from what he did in 2023. Go look at his stats. 2023 Joey Aguilar, 66% completion, 3,700 yards passing, 33 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. 2024 Joey Aguilar, 55% completion, 3,000 passing yards, right at 3,000 passing yards, 23 interceptions, 14 interceptions. I mean, 23 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. I'm telling you, I think Nico is gonna get the better half of this stick this college football season. Jeff Pelt, my guy Jeff Pelt, he said if UCLA make it to the playoffs and Tennessee doesn't, everyone is going to be questioning if Heupel made a good decision or not letting that man go. If this happens, Jeff, what Coach Urban Meyer said is going to ring very true. And a lot of people were getting on Coach Urban Meyer, but I retweeted this. He basically said, and I'm paraphrasing. He basically said, yeah, you got to play a team every October down in Florida. But what happens if you lose that game? Are you gonna stand on the 50-yard line and say, yeah, we lost the game, but I made the right decision back in the spring? I understand where you're coming from, bro. I understand that. I understand the morality part of it. I understand the standards part of it. But at the end of the day, we gotta understand people want to win. You gotta win. I'm just being real. You gotta win. And if he made the right decision, is everybody's opinion. Everybody has a different opinion on that. If he made the right decision, majority of the people feel like he did. But at the end of the day, if they don't win, a lot of those people are gonna still be saying, "Well, you didn't win." So it's a double-edged sword there. So I don't know, man. King Rich said if the OC at UCLA was from Indiana, Nico would not lose a step. He runs the same type of offense at Tennessee. Yeah, I can't remember the OC name, but I know the OC. It was either Indiana or Nebraska that he came from. I can't remember his name though. For something, it's slipping my mind right now. Man, I forgot. Shout out to you, King Richard, for that, man. The Huggy Beard, man. Shout out to old boy for not chasing money in the short term. I told Marcus them dogs still out there. You heard me? Yeah, don't get it twisted. I feel you on that. But this new era of college football, things a little different than that, man. USC, I say no. Riley develops great QB, but not an overall team. To your point there, when you look at the moves that UCLA has done on the defensive side of the ball, when you look at the moves that they've done on the defensive side of the ball, I think USC is going to be a better defensive team this year. They went and got Trevon Reed. Everybody know Auburn, man. He's a cornerbacks coach out there now. And the biggest one to me, they went and got Rex Ryan's brother on that defensive side of the ball. So that's NFL experience. That's guys that have coached in the NFL and that did it very well. And he comes from a tree, and he comes from a defensive coordinator tree. Like, you know how you had like the Monty Kiffin tree, but Rex Ryan's dad, he in that same boat as well. So I'm telling you, what USC did on the defensive side of the ball is going to tell you the difference of how good SC going to be this year. Because when it comes to Lincoln Riley and on the offensive side, I think they're going to be fine. But the defense is what held them back last year. It's going to be interesting to see. So I'll be watching that one closely as well. It's just the opposite of what Freeze did with the Miami QB. I like that, C-Hall. I like that. That makes a lot of sense. Ladies and gentlemen, man, we appreciate y'all so much for rocking with us here around the water cooler as always, man. It's Monday. We appreciate it, man. Before y'all get up out of here, as always, man, make sure you follow us on Facebook at the Water Cooler Talk Podcast, man. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at the Water Cooler Talk. Follow us on Twitter. If you don't have a Twitter, follow us on Twitter at CoolersPod23. Follow us on Twitter at CoolersPod23. And of course, subscribe, like, share, hit the notification bell button here on YouTube. So you know when we post more videos and when we go live here on YouTube, man. We appreciate y'all so much for continuing to rock with us around the water cooler and give us a little bit of your time every night around the water cooler with us as always, man. So thank y'all. Thank you all. King Richard said, man, for USC's, that's great. And that's always been Riley's downfall, even at OU. Very true. Great show, fam. Man, shout out to you, King, man. Shout out to all y'all in the chat. Shout out to all y'all that come around with us, man. Y'all make the show great. If y'all want to hear, we'll just be sitting here talking to ourselves. So we appreciate that, man. 625. Yeah, we at 625, man. We trying to get to 700. We trying to get to 700. Then we trying to get to 800. Then we trying to get to 900. Then we going to get to 1,000. So we appreciate that, man. Thank y'all for that. For the record, Huggy would have shouted old boy out for getting that extra meal too. Make the best decision for yourself. Exactly, man. Shout out to all y'all, man. We appreciate y'all so much, as always, for rocking with us, man. Shout out to you, Huggy, the legend of Sweet Sugar Bear Williams, as always, man. I rock with all y'all, man. We appreciate y'all so much, man. We'll be back around the water cooler tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, man. We'll be back around the water cooler, man. Make sure you hit the notification bell. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button here so you know when we post and when we go live, man. As always, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you go out and support the Avengers. That's DC Wolf at Auburn Addicts TV. Make sure you go support Tight Sports at Alabama Football Megacast as well. Make sure you go out and support Sharpshooters Podcast as well. Make sure you go out and support Auburn Tez with his channel at It's SE Season over there as well, man. So support the Avengers. Support all of us, man. We appreciate it, man. As always, man. We appreciate it, man. He said, I'm going to get there. We'll get there, man. We'll get there. It just take a little time. You know, people got to, the thing about it, what I found out is people got to find us. And so we still small. So it's funny because like a lot of people that find us, they be like, oh, we like the content. We didn't even know y'all existed. I'd be like, hey, man, it is what it is. So we appreciate it, man. And everybody that find us, man, we appreciate y'all for finding us. And so it's cool, man. We shout out to y'all, man. We appreciate it, man. The people's champ. That's what it is, man. Shout out to the Huggy Beard. My guy, Rebel Yale. What up, Rebel Yale? What up, man? How you feeling, man? He said, just realized I wasn't subscribed. Change that. Shout out to Rebel Yale, man. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that, my guy. As always, man. We appreciate y'all, man. As always, man. We'll be back 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central around the water cooler tomorrow, man. And until then, you all have a good one. Better yet, y'all have a great one. As always, man, y'all be blessed. Make sure y'all give the man upstairs above his because he deserves all of it, man. Give the Lord all of his, man. We love y'all. And until tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, back around the water cooler. It is one love. And we out this mug. I holla at you, Eugene Asante. Take us
Boys
out.
and girls of all ages, you're tuned into the Water Cooler Talk podcast, the biggest podcast in the world. Yeah.
Thanks for checking out this episode of Water Cooler Talks with your hosts, Nick Frazier and Marcus Fitzpatrick. Make sure you like and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so that you never miss an episode.